record button, and I'll say, yo, what up? How's it going, man?
Going pretty good.
It's good to hear. Iida 3, huh?
Yeah, I love him.
You love
I
him? I love that.
Love him.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, man. Hit me with the elevator pitch. What's going on with Mr. Iida 3?
Alright, so this deck started out on the Void symbol, but as I play this game more and more, I find that I absolutely love the Order symbol more. In general, it's just a fun symbol, just needs a little bit of throw hate, and I'm like, probably never playing anything else. And I like 7-handers, and I really like the kick package. So Iida kind of fits the bill really nice on the Order symbol here, and this is the deck that after I've done like the bulk of my really competitive play, what I want to settle at, because I think he's good enough to do well. Maybe not top tier, but he's good enough to do well.
Fair.
And like I have a online provisional in like a couple weeks, so I'll do that. I'm not going to Gen Con, unfortunately.
That's okay. Only lamos go to Gen Con.
True. Only the lamos.
Bunch of tryhards.
Yeah, they get cool cards with, fantasy pictures.
Yeah. Cringe.
Nerds.
Okay, so this is the retirement deck, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, until set 3.
Love it. Which is right around the corner, truthfully. So hit me with the elevator pitch. What's the goal here? You wanna clean this up? You wanna just like look at more order options? What's the goal?
So I don't know if it's deck building error or bad play or what it could possibly be. I find that when I'm playing this deck, half the time I'm checking all of the attacks, and I never feel like as a 7-hand size character that I draw good attacks together that is cohesive, I guess. And then when I play Kurogiri, it's like poke, build, pass, and that feels great in what I have here. And then Ingenium's just if there's a lot of throw stuff going on, so I go into Ingenium for like those matchups.
Right.
I can't really figure it out. I've changed foundations. This is like version 8 of Iida in general, like both between Void and Order. I just can't figure out what's the problem. And I wanted to see if you could like point out anything that might improve it, like cutting back on some stuff, and it's not necessarily when I check the attacks that it's like, oh, I'm failing. It's that I don't have attacks in my hand, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, the first thing that I see there is like you're not playing like 4X calling for backup, right? Which is like a no-brainer. If like you feel you're not drawing enough, then put in a card that says draw a card. On every single one of your, like, imagine your reciprocal extends make you a 9-hander as opposed to an 8-hander. That is just enough to maybe get you there, or let's let you build out more so that when you do find your attacks, you get to string out deeper.
Right.
You could just be playing Dropkick Slicer in the main board. Like, I know that's like a big Kurogiri thing, but like you could just play Dropkick Slicer and just like slam more attacks in your hand.
Right.
Like there are options. In fact, I like 2x mainboard to Dropkick Slicer more than I like Engine Rush personally. This card has EX1. What the heck is one more speed on this card gonna do for you, right?
Yeah, this card is normally a 7 mid for 5 in Iida 3 because you get the free EX, and then if you have Gotcha, which you normally do, I would say like pretty early on because I play a lot of them, at least 3.
Right.
I normally get to draw 2 off this card, or they're like gonna hate blocking it. So
True.
Engine Rush has actually weirdly been very effective as a card. I think the card that performs the worst is like both a necessary card and a terrible one. Is Falling Thruster Kick. That card is the bane of my existence.
Or flying or falling.
Falling.
Yeah.
Because it's the card that does the most damage outside of course, the Infinite Cap card. And it also is the only other card with the X3.
Mm-hmm.
And it's typically really easy to get off. But then I don't know. This card has also been the card I draw 3 of in my hands, and I'm like, oh, okay,
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, I can feel that. Every time that I've played this card, I've felt a little lackluster on it. But I don't think it's one of those cards that you're allowed to just play all willy nilly. It wants to be played. It looks like it wants to be played second, but I think it actually wants to be played like third or fourth, in order to get actual value out of it, right? It can't. It's just not the
Yep.
second played card, right? Unless it's after a reciprocal extend, in which case it becomes like a 7 high for whatever. But as a 5 high for whatever, I mean, block zones are just too good. And especially as somebody who knows that, like, I have to block the scary ones, right? Versus Iida 3, I'm never gonna block an extend, right? I never block your first extend. That card sucks, right? I'm down to hit me for 4.
Sure.
I'm down. It's whatever's coming afterwards that's gonna be scary. And this thing getting so big,
Right.
I save my block for it. So this card probably just feels bad because it always gets blocked.
Yeah, and I don't know. In all the games I've been testing this past week, and I think even when I jumped in to play with you a couple days ago, I drew like I managed to hit you, but it's only because I drew like 3 falling thruster kicks, and I just was like, okay, I'm playing all 3.
And I'm pretty sure the first couple didn't hit me.
It was
the
when you
last
had no
one,
cards in your hand.
right?
Yeah, you had no cards in your hand, so you couldn't block it. So it was like, ha, take 7, loser. But
You know how I
I
know
mean,
this card sucks? Stain in the
what
picture
was
is even
that?
blocking it. So like,
Yep. And he looks so like he's the only thing in the picture of the card that I'm like, bro, he looks like a Minecraft character right now.
expertly drawn, truly. The cleanest, best screenshot from the anime.
I know, like they picked the moment that he turned into a Minecraft character because Iida kicked his face in that hard.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So I've pulled some things in here that we can talk about. Obviously, like if you've got the world's biggest balls, I think Dropkick Slicer inside your sideboard is a really cool a really cool card, specifically for this character. It's a beautiful. If you feel that you are not drawing enough attack cards, then this card is a risk reward to force yourself to draw more attack cards.
Right.
It might be a play pattern issue where like you're just not sculpting quite good enough. You're going a little too hard on the your poke turns and like praying that your extend is just going to get you there. As opposed to or your engine rush is going to get you there. But if you want to draw attack cards, this is the card that does it, right? This card says I draw 2
Right.
random cards. This card says I draw up to 3 attack cards. This is where it is.
Fair. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, and it's a better block too. When I normally swap from Iida to Kurogiri, it's the falling thruster kicks that are just like the quickest, like the cleanest swap because they're both 3s. It's a better low block. They're both high attacks,
right.
and they both fit the role in each character pretty well. Like I don't think falling thruster kicks good in Kurogiri, but drop kick slicer is like bonkers.
Yeah. And at the
Especially
same time,
if you don't check them like a Chad.
right. At the same time, like this card needs to see another card for it to get its full value, or you can just windmill slam this. You've got this card and then a bunch of foundations in your hand. You're like, hey, this card might draw 3 cards, right? Like I've got a bunch of foundations in my hand. The likelihood of there being attacks on top is higher. Blah 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 blah. I'll just do a bunch of pseudo math and have a fallacy of like, well, I'm gonna just draw 3 attacks on this card and then build out your cards and then pop off next turn, right? Like this card's got schmooze on it. And it feels fine as an opener, right? Like an easy opener.
It's a great opener.
Could be drop kick into extend into something else.
Flying thruster or something like that.
Flying thruster, you mean?
Yeah, flying.
Yeah.
The good one.
Yeah, the good one. All in all, though, like every time that I've played falling thruster kick inside of Iida 3, I've not been a fan. So like I get taking it out, and I think that you'd be a total Chad by putting in dropkick slicer. That's how I feel, at least.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I mean,
Cool.
I think I'd just swap them in the sideboard. Like they would just switch each other out.
Sure.
Because I like that falling thruster exists because it's also a card that could be your kill card. It does definitely 7 damage, and you can make it really, really fast because it is EX3. It can easily become an 8 high or a
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
11 high.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I think it's the only other card with the EX3.
Yes, for sure.
game.
Yeah, it's just Reciprocal Burst, and then it. But this card has got EX2, and you clear your card pool, and this is beautiful just to clear. Just get rid of it. Be gone.
Yep.
The only issue that I see with Dropkick Slicers is like trying to play this on like a 7, you check a 1, your turn's just over. Like there's no recovery from it. But this card, like,
No.
like
Yeah, it's like it.
if you're a rock star, then it's easy. You know.
You just don't check it.
Yeah, just don't check it.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Simple.
I like that.
Let's look at our stats. We're at 67 here. What's the number we're trying to get to?
Honestly, I'm a bit of a chunky boy. I don't mind thicker decks. They
Okay.
don't bother me. Consistency is what you make it. As a 7 hand size character, I think you can play a chunkier deck and be okay, unless you're playing Tokiyami, of course. But you know, few characters say that you have to play a small deck, or I guess there are some. I don't think Iida has to play a small deck. I don't think he minds.
Sure. Totally fine. Totally fair. So
Technically, by ratios, this is like a beautiful deck. 22 attacks, 44 foundations.
Mhm.
That's like 33 and 66. That's like the chef's
Part of the
kiss?
character in-
Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the character, because I wanted an extra sideboard slot, and +1 or +0 mid blocks are like kind of pog sometimes.
Right. Yeah, I'm down to keep it as a bit of a thicker deck. I don't mind. Let me just talk about some foundation choices, because like it looks like you've got a lot of 3-ofs and 2-ofs in your main board, which means that you've put some amount of thought into like the reason you're playing these cards, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think defrosting is one of the most insane moves to use with Heroic Lineage. It's nuts. It's
Right.
absolutely bonkers, but it's a 3-diff, and we just put in a bunch of 1-checks. So I don't know how much we're going to get away with it. But this card is just like insane. If you do decide that Dropkick Slicer is not working out for you, and you put back in the Falling Thruster Kicks, then I think defrosting, being able to commit a foundation, discard the top card of your deck for -4 speed is not fair. It's just
Yeah.
hey, it's very, very good.
Yeah, it's the same reason I have Unexpected Hero in there, honestly. It's Unexpected Hero kind of it was Unexpected Hero or Defrosting for me, because they both fill a really special role in making sure that you can do Heroic Lineage when you need to.
Right.
And I found that the 3-check, the 2 with the 2 mid block was kind of and I feel like I'm either at 19 lows or 20 lows. So
19 currently.
yeah. So that was why I put in Unexpected Hero over Defrosting, because they kind of fill the same role to me.
This also has a tactic with Reciprocal Acceleration Kick, so I get it.
Yep.
I totally get it.
And that too.
Challenging the Fakes. This card, if you have, if your opponent is just playing like a little baby poke, and you think that like it's a jab into a big haymaker, this card can be really good. The only issue is it doesn't have a block, and you have 19 health. So like as soon as you play this ability, they're just going to unload. So you have to really pick your timing. Hero Killer, I think, is one of the best going first cards in the entire game. If you go first and you build out Hero Killers, and you get to selectively snipe the foundations you don't want to deal with, and still stay ahead on the build, card's nuts. One of the worst going second cards of all time, though. You just can't play it.
True.
Shock Treatment. The fact that we are not playing Shock Treatment in our deck hurts my soul, just because of how good this card is. This destroy to commit one of their foundations is not fair. If they have a new training partner or whatever, the card encouraging training partner to reset our speed down to 4, Shock Treatment just beats that card. It just says that it doesn't work.
Yep.
And so like I think the order symbol needing to have a card like this, and you kind of have it in Natural Leader, right? But Natural Leader says for this one attack, where Shock Treatment says it's committed for the rest of the turn, right? I just don't have to deal with it for the rest of whatever. And you can also just like randomly discard momentum for it. I understand that you want to use momentum for EXs, but you do have the option. Like if you don't have Shock Treatment in here, then there's no choice. If there's no choice, then there's no line, right?
Right. I think Shock Treatment definitely has a spot right now. It actually was in one of the first iterations, but then I ran into the problem where I had like 40 mid blocks and then like 10 in the other zones, because the order symbol is just dummy thick on those mid blocks.
Yeah.
and it's rough. It's rough out in the streets. You get sticky balls, creepy, defrosting, all these cool, awesome, calling for backup, all these cool foundations, and then it's just like mid block.
Right.
And on Iida, to me, if you don't have like at least a semi cohesive like block zones, you're just gonna get smeared.
For sure. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
And once that new kit comes out with Eraserhead, I mean, shock treatment then becomes a lot less relevant because you can just have it on an attack. Same
Ooh.
thing.
So here's where I'm at. Why not both?
True.
True.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, I'd at least I'd probably play at least one shock treatment. I mean, getting too big is a problem. Like I think 70 is probably too big for Iida, but staying like a 65 to like 68 zone is like cool
Sure.
for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I'd be
Self-sacrifice.
definitely down to try shock treatment.
Self-sacrifice it's just it keeps you out of deadlock, and also says that your fast moves hit a little harder. It also says that their hard-hitting moves hit a little softer. Creepy, you know, sticky balls, you know, calling for backup needs to be a 4 of. I'm just gonna do that here. And class 1A president is interesting because all of your stuff gets a lot faster. Very good if we were still playing things like falling thruster kick, because you just like slam the speed and it gets way better, way cooler. But like this card will get to the double. This card will get to the double easy. This card can get to the double as soon as it hits a reciprocal extend. This card will never hit double. Like this is not possible.
Never.
And this card can't hit double. It's just not possible. This card can though.
Right.
And so like there's a lot of interesting 1/5. If we're missing our high block zones, this card just like slams a lot of damage on our own moves to make things like maybe like natural leader like or bonds of friendship maybe like a little less, right? We could play like 2 bonds and then double class 1A president to open up our net a little bit, a little DR, a little more damage pump, like yeah.
Fair. I honestly think bonds of friendship's like the best card in my deck half the time. That will +1 high block in this format is
It's very good. No.
And it's like one of the few +1 high blocks that isn't an attack in the symbol, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
So I definitely want to keep that one. I mean, when I see that card, I'm feeling joy. I mean, in Kurogiri, it's great. In all characters, it's just a joyous card to see.
Love it. Big fan of
So
friendship.
I definitely want to keep that one high.
How wholesome. The first thing that I want to do is I just want to slam these Fruits of Our Labors out of our deck and put them in our sideboard and just slam these self-sacrifices in. I want to take out all 3 of these. I'll put one in my sideboard just so that you can look at it later and get rid of it. I want to put in double self-sacrifice. I think this is a minimum copy that you have to play this card under all 3 symbols, just because this card keeps you out of deadlock. We don't have a ton of deadlock threats ourselves, and so playing in that space is not great. And if we have to panic button get out of it, we don't have a way to do so. We don't have a thing like a release, right, where we can just like slam and get rid of all of them. This is our release. I want to play this card at a 4 of the best that I can, because as you said, it's a 1/5 with a 1 low block, and so it's like the opposite version of Bonds of Friendship.
Right. Yeah.
I feel comfortable personally playing this set of 3 Bonds of Friendship at a 3 of and self-sacrifice at a 3 of, and then figure out the rest of my deck from there. But if we are trying to get this number down just a little bit more, because right now we're at 68 cards for some crazy reason.
That's like the max that I.
Oh, it's because I put in double calling for backup.
Right.
We're not playing 68 cards with 22 attacks. There's actually no chance. I'm gonna try and get this thing down to like 62, 63. I think that's my goal.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Like this gotcha could be a 2 of, and Rooftop Vantage could not exist, and Drowning in Resentment is fine but not needed. What's our high blocks look like? High blocks are fine. Yeah, we could just cut Drowning. Actually, we'll do this, and then I'll go look at our blocks. 15. We might go put something back. Actually, just kidding. We're just going to put this up to a 3 of, and then live with it. Requesting Assistance should be a 4 of in our deck. This card is absolutely insane because of our character. Ready 1 of 1 foundation with printed difficulty 1 or less. We ready Requesting Assistance, and Requesting Assistance gets to ready the rest of our board. Not fair. That's not fair.
It is very cheesy.
Man, I think this card is so mid.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think Fusion, at least on offense, is like on defense too. It's pretty great. I thought so. Like I like that it's -2, but I mean it does the same on defense. It does the same thing as Ice Gliding, but on offense it's better than Ice Gliding. So So it's like it fits a weird role. But if you think needs to go down to a 3, I'd be certainly willing to try. Because I'm just trying anything to make this deck more linear.
Would you
I
play
guess.
7 Ice Gliding if you were allowed to? Let me change the question.
No, probably not.
Would you play 7 Fusion if you're allowed to?
Probably not.
Then why are you playing 7 Fusion or 7 Ice Gliding? You just said that the same card. It's 1 point stat different offensively. And worse defensively, right? It's technically 1 stat worse defensively, right?
Right. I think
the same card.
It was also for like making sure that I see options with Iida, because his main thing is making sure that there are 1s and 0s that you can use.
Yeah.
And like I have this fear I'm gonna have too many 2s on my board and I'm just gonna cry about it.
I love that. You know what else is a 0?
What's that?
A face down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, if
That's
you're not
true.
triggering him every single turn, then like you don't have enough calling for backups, right? You don't have callings. You're not using desperate time. We have self-sacrifice that'll exist on our board for the rest of our lives, right? You got tape, gotcha, requesting, fusion, ice gliding. Like we have the options, and then all of those that are face down, like all of them are great.
Yeah. I just love rewriting speed hate. That's like that's a chef's kiss right there.
I get it.
But I can also see dropping and losing one because it's another mid block and it's just another -2 speed or +2.
Yeah, I want to put fusion at a 3 of and ice gliding at a 2 of. That's how I feel personally.
Okay.
And then let's look at our difficulties, right? Because like, jeez, look at all the spam. Look at the order symbol. All it does is play low difficulty moves. Yeah, this is totally fine because our dropkick slicers. That feels great. How would you feel about getting rid of these drownings?
I'd be down for it.
So I want to get rid of the drownings and then
see it
probably
going.
cut it there and then like stop cutting cards. We've brought it down to a 63 card deck with 22 attacks with the ability to now dropkick slicers. Hey, you're going to find attack cards. You're going to have attack cards out the wazoo. To the point where like I want to increase our numbers, maybe back up to 65, maybe, just to put in slightly more low blocks. But I want you to play this as it is at the moment and figure out what's going on here, and see if you like the slicer or not.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't tried it mainboarded just because I'm only like half Chad and I'm not all the way there yet, you know. But
respect them turn one, and then
willing
you'll never
to try
them.
it. True. Also, just swapping a Kurogiri and then they don't actually exist in your deck as a check.
Not after turn 1.
Not even turn 1. I don't. Nope. Doesn't exist in Kurogiri.
He's too dapper to check once.
He's wearing a suit, man. I mean,
I get it.
What are you gonna do? Check ones? No, I'm wearing a suit. I got nice shoes on, and look at these buttons and a tie. True.
It's a nice vest.
But yeah, definitely. I always try to respect it if I can. Sometimes you just get like a poo-poo hand and you can't, but I try to.
Makes sense to me. All in all, though, I think this is a fine starting spot to look at like what my ratios look like, or what my deck looks like as like a little thinner. And like we've kept our attack lineup exceptionally high, and we put in more draw cards. So like this deck is going to be far more aggressive than what you are probably quote used to, but and if you still feel like you're seeing too much, just like maybe some slam in some more, like you could put the fruits of our labors back. You could put like you could up self-sacrifice, right? And or put gotcha back up if you feel like you need more zero diffs. Like there's options to do, but I think this is a fine place to start to rebuild, right? It's almost like a weight training, right? You bulk up and then slim down, and then bulk up and then slim down, and then bulk up and then slim down. Bulk cut. We're in a cutting phase at the moment, and then we've changed up how our deck works, and now if we need to, we can bulk back up and then cut it again.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a question though. Which card did you say you would swap for Natural Leader? Is it Shock Treatment?
Yeah, they kind of do the same job, right?
Yeah.
But I'd be afraid to lower my high block count at the moment.
Fair. That's one of my better high blocks.
Yeah.
Cause like once I get one of those on the board, I never really care to get any more.
Fair. Hey,
'Cause
that does
it
the same thing as
fits the
fusion.
bill. It does. You know, hey, I once got a burst all the way up to like 32 mid for like 40 damage. It was bonkers. Or 32 low or
I
something.
was
Yeah,
gonna
32
highlight
low.
plus ultra and then laugh at you, but hey, I dig
I
it.
can't do that.
I dig it. No, if it was mid, I just
Oh yeah,
block
if
with
it was
plus
mid,
ultra.
I'd so cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like what I fear, right? The plus ultra in hand. It's like, yeah, I'm a set two character, but I'm playing plus ultra because I'm cool.
Yeah. I
Like,
just whenever you decide
why
to
are
put
you
in
like this?
Kirigiri, right?
Yeah, it's for Kuragiri, and it's also just a great mid block. Another just screw you mid block, which I love. I like swapping from Iida into just now this game is going to be exponentially harder for you as I poke, build, pass, and block everything you do as Kuragiri.
Makes sense to me.
I made a Tokoyami basically not be Tokoyami because he couldn't play Ruin. So hard
Yeah.
to play Tokoyami without Ruin.
Makes all the sense. Until he gets to the end of the deck and he
Harder.
draws 4 ruins, and then you look at him and go, well,
And
I guess
then
I'm
you
dead.
cry.
Hey,
Indeed.
shake his hand. Good game. You found the last ones. All right, man. Well, thanks again for the support on Patreon. I appreciate it. Let me know how the deck does. This is a cutting phase, and so like as you play
Right.
the deck, you're going to feel you might feel a little weaker and realize, hey, the dropkick slice isn't working. I should put back in this, or maybe make a small change here. I know at the very beginning of chat, Tim said, "Can I suggest Jolt?" Because it is an EX attack, so you get to just EX2 for free on that card. Like there's definitely still options that you get to have at your disposal as you're playing, you know.
Right. All right. Well, thank you very much for the insight. I will definitely love to give this a shot and see, how it shocks me from the previous build.
For sure. For sure. All right, stay long enough for me to get you the list, and you have a good rest of your night, okay?
You too.
All right, peace.